Hello. Today I'm talking about a question that has become more and more relevant as AI changes how we live. Do you really need to learn to read and write a foreign language, or can you just learn it by speaking and listening? The idea may seem wild, but I'm going to give you 5 good reasons to learn in this way and 9 suggestions for apps and tools that you can use to help you do it. Part 1. Benefits of learning without reading and writing. I've been working in language teaching and language learning technology for well over 15 years. And today, in 2025, I can see a lot of good reasons to learn a language only by speaking and listening. 1. For many people, speaking and listening is the main way they'll actually use the language. If that's the case for you, it makes sense to prioritize those skills from the start. 2. Learning through speaking and listening fits more easily into a busy life. It means you don't always have to find time to sit down and look at a screen or a notebook. With the right apps and resources, which I'll recommend to you in a minute, you can practice while walking, driving, cleaning, or doing other mindless chores. 3. If you're learning a language with a different alphabet, like Arabic, Russian, or Japanese, you can save lots of time by skipping the writing system at first. I learned Arabic for 2 years and reached a basic conversational level without knowing the alphabet. 4. If you're an auditory learner, you'll actually learn more quickly if you focus on listening instead of written words. Of course, that's even more true if you're dyslexic. It's worth mentioning here that some people simply learn better when they can read and write things down. If you're someone who needs to see the written words to remember them, or if writing helps you organize your thoughts, then learning only through speaking and listening might be the wrong choice for you. And finally, 5, these days, being able to write in a foreign language is much less important than it used to be. Tech is becoming more voice controlled, so it's possible to use a language in more situations without writing. Dictation tools are very reliable these days. I often dictate stuff into my phone or laptop, even in English, because I'm just too lazy to type it sometimes. Your phone or laptop most likely has dictation already built into it. Or if you want a separate app, there's, for example, Voicey, which I'll say a bit more about in a minute. So even if you do need to produce written text in the language you're learning, you can just speak and let the device handle the writing and the spelling for you. In fact, controversial opinion here, if your main or only goal for this foreign language is just writing, like emails, messages, documents, I would argue that you don't even need to bother learning the language at all, because automated translation is so reliable now. Or at least far more reliable than the level of proficiency you could hope to achieve in the language. There are translators like Google Translate, DeepL, and ChatGPT can even translate using a particular tone or style. You'll get a good result for any widely spoken language. Now, a quick break where I'll take a few seconds to tell you about Voicey, an app that I invited to sponsor this video. Voicey lets you use dictation to write with your voice anywhere on your computer across every website and app. You press a button on your keyboard, speak, and the text is on screen for you. I've been using dictation more and more recently because it's so much easier and faster than typing. For me, a big advantage of Voicey over my computer's built-in dictation is that it automatically knows the language I'm using, because I sometimes switch between using English and Spanish, and with Voicey, I can use either one without changing any settings. Part 2. Apps and resources, and you'll find links in the description for everything I mention here. It's never been easier to learn a language almost entirely by speaking and listening. So to start learning as a beginner, you'll need a properly structured course. One of my top recommendations is a fantastic series of free audio courses called Language Transfer. It's available for Spanish, French, Italian, Greek, German, Turkish, Egyptian Arabic, and Swahili. Then there are some high-quality, paid-for audio courses, Michelle Thomas, Paul Noble, and Pimsleur. These courses have been around for decades, originally on cassettes and CDs, but they're still extremely relevant today and now available as audiobooks or apps. When I started learning Spanish, I used the Michelle Thomas course and found it really helpful, and I used the Pimsleur course when I started learning Arabic. Those courses will give you some vocabulary and grammar, but if you want a way to learn more vocabulary purely by listening, the app Spoken has vocabulary playlists that are like audio-only, hands-free flashcards. You can use that to test yourself on vocabulary in a way that would have previously needed you to look at a notebook or a flashcard app. Next, practice. So you've used one of those courses and you can now form some sentences. It's time to start producing the language in a more free and open way. Of course, there's ChatGPT, which is fantastic for practicing spoken conversations, especially at intermediate or advanced level. There are also so many, maybe too many, chatbots designed for language learners with useful features to make conversations more productive for learning, like correcting mistakes and adding new words to a vocabulary list. My personal favourite of these is Langua. I know TalkPal is also very popular, but there were a few things I found disappointing about that one. I'll link my reviews of both these apps. If you want short daily speaking tasks rather than long conversations, the app Spoken gives you quick, manageable speaking activities and helps you improve on the mistakes you make. Spoken also has something that none of the chatbots have, which is audio from real, human, native speakers talking naturally in real conversations. Another great option for improving your listening skills and picking up new vocabulary is podcasts. And these days, a couple of the big podcast platforms, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, have a feature that's really useful for language learners: automatic transcriptions with the words highlighted as they're spoken. So if you're listening and you don't understand something and you want to see a word and translate it, you can just press the skip back button and check the transcript on screen. This feature makes podcasts a much more useful experience for language learning. My tip for getting the most out of podcasts is don't just leave a podcast playing in the background and hope to magically absorb the language. Try to focus when you're listening. So that's it. Those are all my tips and advice. You can also take a look at some of my other videos where I review specific language learning apps.